most of us went into teaching, we had a general idea what we were getting into. Whether we'd been told not to smile until that first December,
All right.
or we'd been convinced to trade our red pens for a disarming green, our frowns for hugs, our lectures for conversations, most of us got into this thing prepared to be recognized as part of the solution. We knew that some would mislabel us as martyrs, overestimating our sacrifices, forgetting that we'd made peace with the realization that we'd never be rich in anything but joy. We would have fun, we would work hard, but we would never doubt that our professional lives had meaning. In our worst days, we would battle our own weaknesses, our students' myriad challenges, indifference from our superiors. But if you were anything like me, you never expected to be cast as the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
We never thought that we'd hear our governor say at a press conference that if only we were as committed to the students of Philadelphia as we are to our own interests, our schools wouldn't have such a funding problem.
Mm-hmm.
We never thought that our district would try to screen a movie at Parent Appreciation Night that features villain teachers locking students in closets and union bosses sneering lines like, "When school children start paying union dues, I'll start representing the interest of school children." I certainly never imagined that my students would ever feel driven to strike on my behalf. So this morning, we find ourselves working just as hard as we ever did to craft powerful learning experiences for our children, while at the same time facing a deliberate attack on our confidence, a public questioning of our intentions, a dissolution of the social contract so thorough that our contracts can be ripped up at secret meetings, as if Philly public school teachers ever stood the chance of making too much money. Last week, after reading about my students' protests, my father playfully asked if we were training kids to be rebels. I'm not. Though I can see how it could look that way. Kids are going to Harrisburg. They're opting out of standardized tests. They're sitting firm while adults scream in their faces that they should retreat to their failing schools. I understand those that accuse teachers of encouraging these antics, but all we are doing is actually listening when our kids ask, "Why does my school look like this?" What can we do about it? How can we make the adults in power actually listen to us, Mr. K? I don't want to be dismissed as cute when all of this is supposed to be about us. The professionals in this room hear the opportunities in these questions. We don't encourage students to hide from the hard truths. Our kids will not cower in the face of those seeking to rob them of their futures. We teach them to be skeptical of shiny and misused power. And then we give them pens, teach them about metaphors, record their podcasts, read their blogs, publish their essays and their artwork, invite them to speak. And when they do, they just might end up saying lines like, "Stop telling us the sky is the limit as you build more roofs." And I don't have to stand on a corner to know when I'm being backed into one. You know that we are in strange times when the awakening of citizens is treated like the raising of some rebel force. But if that's the climate, so be it. We stand on the shoulders of teachers who didn't run from the big fights. I've got to imagine that every northern student that boarded a freedom ride into the segregated South had some teacher's voice ringing in their ears. Somebody told them to look carefully at the Declaration of Independence. Some educator didn't fill in the gaps with nonsense and excuses. When they were confronted with the enormity of the problem, some teacher or mentor challenged them to get creative. Someone stoked their imaginations until the possibility of success became real. Someone practiced with them, edited their speeches, recommended a book that introduced new complexity to their arguments. And if that is our legacy, I welcome it. Let it be said that we gave our students the tools to make all bullies uncomfortable. That their young voices were the sacred currency of our classrooms. That we celebrated each process of perseverance, every child's first raised hand, first time on stage, and yes, first time looking power in the eye to say, I'm not impressed.
Mm-hmm.
You got nothing on my 9th grade English teacher,
Mm-hmm.
my slam poetry coach, my reading specialist. They prepared me to claim what is properly mine. And if teaching like this makes us part of the problem, then let us be problematic together. Let us this morning share ideas with the zeal of prophets. Let's listen to each other with the openness and focus of partisan fighters planning a resistance. Let us ignore the temptation to make our classroom an island, to be the one cool teacher. Let us never sell ourselves to kids as the only one who gets it. This morning, let's celebrate the reclaiming of our identity. There is nothing more noble than being a teacher. Thank you.